My name is Mundo. I'm an award-winning CFO, Forbes featured entrepreneur, and real estate investor. I'm one of the top industry experts when it comes to Morby methods.
And the fact that you did a Morby method with an attorney means that you officially have reached gangster status.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Freaking amazing. Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Mundo. I appreciate you, brother.
I've closed on over 100 creative finance transactions, and I've had the honor of speaking on stages such as Squad Up Summit, sharing this exact method. What is up, everybody? Tonight, I'm going to do a real-time brainstorming session on how to create value in a paid workshop. So I have a 3-day, 2-night stay workshop that I'm coming up with in September, focused on Morby methods, which is a method in creative finance that I am extremely well versed in and one of the top industry experts. So I'm going to be sharing A to Z, everything I'm doing. And tonight, I'm going to be crafting the value proposition for that. I'm going to be laying down the foundation for everything I'm going to be doing over the next 6 to 8 weeks. That's about how long I have left to market this, and I haven't officially launched it yet. So I'm going to be working tonight on the landing page, which is going to be essentially the booking page for the workshop. So if you're looking to do a workshop yourself, this will be something that you can reference and maybe something you can think about for your workshop. If you've already launched a workshop, I would welcome any advice that anyone has out there that has done this successfully already. So I'm going to be walking through that process. I'm going to be brainstorming. So I'm going to leave my computer in a little bit. First, I'm going to be going through my landing page and kind of tweaking some things, figuring out agenda, that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to go over to my chalkboard and we're going to brainstorm. We're going to brainstorm about the value that I'm going to provide to everyone at the workshop. And what I'm essentially going to be doing is I'm going to be taking that live brainstorming and I'm going to be affinitizing those into different categories. And that's going to help create a lot of clarity for me as I start to develop my social media strategy over the next 6 to 8 weeks. The intention of my social media strategy to market this workshop is to create value, have that value focused around this workshop, and create it in a way that people don't know I'm creating it. So doing that in a way like exactly what I'm doing right now. I am selling you without you know I'm selling you. I am selling today in the sense that for people doing workshops like Owners Club members, it's a business mastermind group that I'm a part of. A lot of people are going to be doing workshops themselves, right? I'll be sharing those workshop best practices and tips along the way. But by doing that, I am giving you exposure to my workshop so you know about my workshop, right? So I'm giving value, but I'm also selling at the same time. And that's what I'm trying to package this strategy around. And tonight is going to help me bring that clarity to focus, give me a glide path so that way I can start making very strategic about the workshop in a way that's not like too salesy, because I want to be focused around giving value. I don't want to be every single post, come to my workshop, come to my workshop, come to my workshop. Like no one wants to hear that, right? So you have to think about leading with value first. And so that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. I'm going to be working through that. And then I'm going to be packaging all that up. And every post I make for the next 6 to 8 weeks, it's going to have some central focus around touching those different areas. So that way I can eventually drive traffic to hopefully have a successful workshop. So let's kind of dive right in. I think I'm at a pretty cool stage right now because I don't have a ton of things built out on this website yet. And so it'll be cool to see where I'm at today, maybe where I finish tonight, me mapping things out on the chalkboard. And before I finish the night, I'll probably come back from the chalkboard, take some of those ideas and tweak my landing page here. So one of the first things I did was earlier, a couple hours ago, was I purchased the domain of morbymethodmasterclass.com. I still have to fix this URL redirect. I don't know what's going on there, but I want that to be the domain. I didn't want it to be morbymethodworkshop.myclickfunnels.com, and it's like really hard to remember, right? So if I'm sharing it, obviously you have the link, but if it's morbymethodmasterclass.com, much easier to remember, more palatable. Someone could easily remember, oh yeah, that's the name, and type that in and get to the place that they want to be. So I don't have this fully built out yet. I started with a template. This is a ClickFunnels template. I know there's a lot of people out there that use like Go High Level and stuff. I've seen the templates. I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of it yet. Maybe it'll grow on me. For now, I like ClickFunnels. So what I'm going to have here is I'm going to have, this is the default video that comes with the template, right? So obviously I need to replace this video with my video. So I have a video that's currently being worked on and edited. That's going to be kind of that landing page video that I'll be sharing here. And my intention of tonight is to figure out where I'm going with the value of the workshop and find a way to articulate that on this landing page very quickly. So this is a high ticket item event. So if we look at the pricing is going to be, retail is going to be $3,000 a ticket. I'm probably going to start with a launch of 100. So it's going to be a little bit of a early bird special kind of thing. But at this point in time, the tickets prices are going to go up. So this is not a like $10 ticket item. Like this is a high ticket. I need to sell the value in which I'm providing, right? So the value I'm providing has to justify the cost. Now, one thing I have done a pretty good job of over the past year, 2 years is I give away a ton of free value. I mean, I just went live for 32 hours straight doing all sorts of stuff in my business, working all day long, all night, all morning, all following day, going live, just creating and delivering value. Every week, I'm always doing free calls and creating value. I just had a call a couple hours ago. So if I'm doing all this stuff for free, imagine what I'm going to do at a paid workshop. Like I'm going to let it absolutely rain in value. And my goal of this workshop, this masterclass, I'm not even calling it a workshop. I need to stop framing it as a workshop. It's more of a masterclass because I am going into really advanced stuff. And my goal of that is to make every attendee feel like they have robbed me, like they stole from me. I want them to walk away and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I paid this guy $2,500 or $3,000. I should have paid $10,000 or $15,000. Like that's how much value I'm going to create in this workshop. This method is something that easily people out there can create an additional $100,000 a year business model or more. I know plenty of people doing that. And that's something that I'm going to be covering. There's going to be opportunities to make money at this workshop. So if I kind of dive into the agenda, what I have so far, let's go back up here. And again, this isn't built out yet. So you're going to watch me build some of this out tonight. I'm going to kind of get a frame, get my head wrapped around where I'm at right now, and then go do a brainstorming session. And then we're going to come back here and then we're going to start packaging this stuff together. So I don't have the day. I think the day one agenda is pretty well locked in. I don't have the day two agenda written here. You can see I have some template stuff. And then I have day three kind of solidified. So just to give you a high level overview of what I'm thinking, day one, you're going to check out. We're going to hang out. This is in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. If you don't know what Pigeon Forge, Tennessee is, amazing place. Like I go there with my family all the time. It's amazing. Like you can take your kids there, great family vacation. There's also Gatlinburg, which is kind of pretty close to Pigeon Forge, is like wine trails, bourbon tasting, like all this cool, fun adult stuff. And then on the other side of Pigeon Forge, you have all these like attractions and cool looking buildings and tour sites and crazy mini golf stuff and like whole bunch water parks. And like, it's just an amazing place. You should check it out. So just going there alone as like a vacation is an attraction, right? So our ticket's going to include that. You're going to stay there at the property 2 nights. It's a 3-day workshop. You'll be there 2 nights, and that's included in your ticket. So right there's value built in to your ticket. Hold on one second. Let me orient my page around here. Okay, cool. And so when we dive into the agenda, I want to create some open space because I don't want a fully jam-packed agenda to where you can't even enjoy Pigeon Forge. Like, I want to take some intentional time to network and to enjoy Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg and just like enjoy the scenic view. So it's at a property that I own. Of course, it was taken down Morby method. And we're going to use that property as like a real case study. We're going to go through and we'll talk about that. That'll probably be the day 2 agenda. And so that's what I'll have to map out. I'm going to go through the full case study, the full cycle of that deal that I did, of that property that you're going to be at. I'm talking literally, I'm going to pull up every single email that was and text message that was ever exchanged through that whole life cycle. I'm going to go through the whole entire TC checklist of everything that gets done. You're going to get that checklist. And so you're going to know whether you want to know or not. You know, you should at least have an understanding of what's involved in a Morby method transaction. Something you can give to your TC, or if you are a TC, something you can use yourself to close on these types of transactions. There's going to be a lot of value that we're going to cover. And I know what the value is. I have to find a way to communicate that value to someone visiting this page in a very quick way, right? I think I could be speculating. I don't know. If someone is buying a high ticket item, my assumption is that they are going to take the time to watch whatever video I have. So if I have, let's say, a 5, 6, 7 minute video, or if I have 2 videos, you know, one's 4 or 5 minutes, the other one's 4 or 5 minutes, I think if they're serious, they're going to watch it all, as opposed to like scrolling on social media or like YouTube content. I ain't going to get anyone's attention longer than 3 seconds. You know, if I don't do some dancing monkey thing on the screen in 3 seconds, like they're just going to, you know, go off and watch another video, right? They're going to keep on scrolling. I think in a high ticket item type of situation, which if someone has gotten to this page, it's because they're interested already. They're probably already in my sphere of influence. This is in its infancy stage as far as launching this first workshop. So it's not like I'm going to be, you know, generating a ton of traffic from paid ads, like, and it's a bunch of people that I don't know. There's like a 98% chance that the person on this landing page already knows who I am. I've already built trust with them. I've already, you know, shown that I can deliver value, right? So it's a different, I need to cater to that differently, knowing who my audience is. My audience isn't going to be some random person from, you know, California that I've never met before. It's going to be an investor I know. And that's what I need to think about. So I think they'll take the time to watch the video that I put together. So I'm putting together a video that walks through a large part at a high level, what I'm doing in the workshop to create value, but it doesn't cover everything. So I want to have a way to give the audience a lot of what they can expect and think about the questions that they would ask themselves as far as like the travel arrangements and like the value and all that kind of stuff, right? So this is where we're at, day 1 for the agenda. So I'm going to kind of just do a quick overview, and then I need to figure out day 2, day 3. So I'm kind of just giving a recap, and really this agenda is to give a high level overview. it doesn't go into the detail that I want it to go into. So I need to figure out how to capture value or how to articulate the value. So when I'm looking at this right now, like for example, from confused to under contract, the ultimate contracts deep dive. I know I'm going to be covering the contract start to finish, everything that you need to know from a contract perspective, and I'm going to give you the contracts that I use to buy millions of dollars of real estate. I know I'm going to do that, but you don't know I'm going to do that by reading this. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about as far as I need to find a way to package up that value that I know that's going to be delivered and be able to get that for the audience. Now, I may not be able to craft everything on this landing page. It may just end up being too cluttered, right? I don't know if that's going to work, but I at the very least need to be creating that kind of value on social media over the next 6 to 8 weeks. One thing that I know that I already had in my head, like the contracts, for example, I could easily make a post of here's all the purchase contracts. I could make 2 or 3 posts actually about that. Here's the purchase contracts. I could do something like maybe a little teaser of it being blurred out and like how you're only going to get it, coming to the workshop. Or I could do some comparison of like, I can do some caption video talking about the importance of or how powerful words are, right? Here's a blank piece of paper and here's a stack of a blank paper. Here's that same equivalent stack with words on it being the contract, and how this stack can create millions of dollars of wealth versus this stack is just a bunch of piece of papers, right? Like, I don't know, something like that, and just create stuff around that. So that's what I'm thinking as far as social media, branding, content, that kind of stuff. Like even this underwriting mastery, walk in confused, walk out an expert. What does that mean, right? I can't, go into the description here on this agenda, everything that's going to happen. I just want people to look at this and just, if anything, use this to help plan their travel arrangements, right? And I'm even thinking about, like, once I get to the checkout page, a video that talks about the travel arrangements. Since I own this property, I have flexibility on the travel arrangements. I can let people come in and out, like stay there before, stay there after, at maybe some like reduced rate. And I'm thinking about giving people the option, as long as they're tacking on their trip. Like if they wanted to bring their family, for example, let's say they did the workshop and maybe they wanted to have a vacation with their family the 3 days before, and then their family leaves for the workshop or something like that. Or after they do the workshop and then their family comes down and they stay 2 or 3 days afterwards and have, a good family vacation where they can partially rent out the property with other people that have that same option. That's what I'm thinking of offering people at like a really cheap, affordable rate. And so I think that would be awesome for people that want to kind of use this as a business write-off, but also a, family vacation, and still get the value that we're looking for. So I think that's something that would be attractive. So I'll have a video that kind of explains what's included in their ticket, which, the lodging would be included. And so as I sit here and think, okay, on day 2, I need to figure out what is going to be the value that I'm going to create. So you actually can't see my screen here. It doesn't appear to be refreshing. Hold on one second. Let me fix that. It continuously dies on me all the time. So, all right. So this is what I'm looking at right now as far as the agenda that I was referencing. I thought you could see that, so I apologize. So I have the agenda. We're starting at, check in at around 11. People can come in before or they can come in after. So I'm allowing this. This is on a Saturday, I think. Then we have day 2, Sunday. I still need to map out what this agenda looks like. And day 3, I intentionally made this a Monday because what we're going to be doing is I wanted a full, like an actual business day we're going to be live calling title companies, we're going to be live calling lenders, and we're going to be live calling direct to agents. So probably on day one, day one is pretty packed. I'm starting to think, I don't know if we can fit this in on day one. I want to go over, I may do this on my own time throughout this agenda, but I want to start blasting LOIs. We may be able to do that on day two. I'm going to start blasting LOIs on day two, and we're going to go over like the LOI template, which you will get, by the way. I'm going to talk about the negotiation strategies that I use and whatever deals that we either get under contract, whether we decide to wholesale them or we may decide that we want to keep them ourselves and buy them. Whatever we decide, whatever monetary value is produced, whether that be physical money through assignment fees or tangible wealth through purchasing real estate value, the people that are participating will have an opportunity to either get paid or own part of the real estate at the workshop. So there's not many workshops that you can go to and say that you're going to get paid to be there or you're going to walk away being a real estate owner, right? So that's an incredible value and opportunity in itself. And we're going to be putting theory into action, right? Day three is going to be like, okay, we talked about it. We did the case study. We reviewed everything. Now let's pick up the phone and start making phone calls, right? You're going to see me doing phone calls, negotiating with sellers and negotiating with agents, sourcing title companies, sourcing lenders. And then you're going to have the chance to do the same thing. And we can give that real-time feedback collectively as a group. So that's going to be awesome. So that's why we have it structured to overlap on a Monday as we end on that last day. And so I need to figure out, okay, how am I going to pack in the value here on two? So I still need to come up with the day two agenda. And so now I get up to this and I need to, again, I'm trying to articulate value as quickly as possible. When someone lands on this page, I only have a finite amount of time to get their attention. And again, I think I have a better opportunity to get their attention or more time than I would say if I was advertising on Google Ads and it was some random person and random traffic. I think I have a better chance of getting them to spend the time on this page because, again, as I mentioned, they're probably going to know me already. So it shouldn't come as a surprise. This probably needs to change. I don't know. I do want to articulate very clearly up front that, hey, your ticket includes 2-night stay at the property. So when I get down to this pricing thing, I probably want to say that too as well. So when I capture, this is where I don't know. This is where tonight I want to figure out what is the value that I'm providing, not providing, that kind of stuff. And there's going to be some things that I'm holding intentionally up my sleeve that I won't share with that I think will be extra value because I want to under promise and over deliver. That's just how I roll. So that's what we need to figure out. So we're gonna work through this tonight, and this first part, for this first past this first 24 minutes that we've been on, it's been pretty like well packaged, right? If you're watching this, it's been pretty well laid out. This next, however long we're doing this, it's going to be a working session. There may be periods of time where I have weird, awkward pauses. It's because I'm thinking. Right? So you're going to see me do this stuff in real time. I'm going to be brainstorming. You're going to see my mind working, whether that be good or bad. So I am probably going to look at this, do a quick overview here, and then take it to my chalkboard and start mapping out ideas and think about what is all the value that I'm providing in this transaction. So it'll take me a couple minutes. My chalkboard is over there. So it'll take me a couple minutes to get set up. So let me actually, in advance, let me get my, get this cable out of here so it doesn't get all twisted. All right, so let's go ahead and run through this real quick. And I'm going to take my notepad actually, and I'll have my computer. Let's see, masterclass brainstorming. That's what we're calling this today. And so we're thinking, okay, I was chatting with some other Owners Club members, and the person I was chatting with mentioned that I should really sell how this method could get you paid, like how you can walk away earning money, right? Like it's a business model that you're not just going to come here to learn. You're not just learning social media or whatever, right? Like it's, obviously there's value in social media. I'm actually going to incorporate branding. I think, let me see if I don't have it in the agenda. Okay, cool. The branding blueprint that attracts money, people, and deals. I am going to talk about that stuff, but a lot of workshops that I see are really theory, and this is a legit, you learn this start to finish. You could implement this and start making money. So that's what I need to sell. I need to sell that you're making an investment that you're going to get a return on, which is different than making an investment in a educational workshop that you will get a return in the sense of intangible value, right? I am a big fan of education. And so I always invest in myself. I see the value in investing myself, but sometimes that value or that investment doesn't produce an immediate ROI. The investment I make in Owners Club, for example, that is not an immediate ROI. Now, can there be some opportunities where there is an immediate ROI? Yeah, absolutely. But generally speaking, I'm working on personal development, leadership skills, relationship building, all sorts of things. And that's all long term. There's a long-term vision to being in that business mastermind group. Okay. So this is different. You could have an immediate ROI if you implement it. Now, just like any other workshop, anything else you do, if you show up, you learn, you're like, okay, that's cool. And then you go home and don't do anything. Like, of course, like you're not going to get an ROI if you just sit at home and do nothing. But if you take action, I will give you steps A to Z on exactly how you can make money. So that is something I need to sell. So I need to write that down. Sell making immediate ROI. Love that. And I'm going to head over again. I'm going to head over to my chalkboard here in a second. I'm going to start writing. My screen share thing is doing that. One of these days, I'm going to get this figured out. My screen share thing's tweaking on me again. Hold on one second. I don't know how I need to fix this, but it needs to be fixed. Okay, so I personally don't think I need to say a whole lot about myself because, again, I think the people that are landing here, they already know who I am, but there needs to be something here. I think my intro video that I'll have, it will cover some of my background, so I probably don't need a ton here. The event schedule, this just needs flushed out. The pricing, I probably need to pack up. This is definitely not free, so I need to change that. Let's go. So if I show kind of behind the scenes of the funnel here. What am I saying on all these other buttons? Register now. I'm wondering if I can even change the verbiage of this register now. I'd be curious to see if so the next step it's going to take to the next funnel, which is the checkout page. So we'll go ahead and refresh that. Make sure that updated, which I'm sure it did. So register now. Let me see with ChatGPT. Should I have a register now button on a high ticket item, or should I say something more inviting to get people to click on checkout page? I don't know. Register now may be just fine. I'm just curious. See what's inside. I like that. Yes, I want in. Interesting. If anyone watching wants to give me some feedback, what you think would be good, I would love that. See what's inside. Just claim your access, secure your spot. Yes, I want in. I like that. I'm going to change it to that. And some of this I'm experimenting. You know, some of this may be me making complete mistakes. I don't know. Yes, I want in. I like that. Where'd my ChatGPT go? Don't think that was it. Yes, I want in. Continue. Next step. See my options. Claim your access. Start your journey. See what's inside. Again, this is a high ticket item. I want to spend the time to do this right. So I also want to frame that this is a very small, let me small, intimate group. This is not going to be some like mega conference where it's 3,000 people. It is very small. I mean, there's probably going to be a max of like 12 people, 12 to 4, probably. I think it sleeps up to 14, but I have to, sleep myself too. Very, very small, intimate group. So I need to, I put small internet. I don't know why I did that. Small, intimate. I need to sell that. People like a small, intimate group. They don't want to be drowned. It depends. There's a time and place for that. But, the value in having a huge group is you can network with an enormous amount of people. The value of a small group is you can network with everybody there and have meaningful conversations. So I need to lean into that value too. Yes, I want in. I'm thinking of doing some sort of page. Actually, hold on one second. I wonder, yes, I want in. That would have been my vote as well. Thanks, Rod. Appreciate it. I like that. I'm wondering if I should have a page somewhere on here, or like one of these buttons that says explore what you get. Or maybe it's better up here. I don't really have speakers. I think maybe after this first one that I do, it's just going to be me probably. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can get my attorney to show up. I don't know if that'll happen. Right now, I'm just going with it as like, it's just me. And to be honest, I have all the value that people need, in my head. I got it. So maybe I make this what did it say? Explore what you get, discover, see what's inside. Let me ask for more of this. Give me more options. Take a sneak peek, preview the experience. Yes, Rod, that would be correct. I've done it. I currently do it both ways, with an attorney, without an attorney. So preferably with an attorney, but I will show people like you can easily do it without. It's really up to you. I'll talk about the pitfalls of doing it with and without. I would, as a best practice, I will probably recommend to do it with an attorney. If you want to take the risk, or if you know about the risk and know how to structure it correctly, you don't really necessarily need it. But that is what I would recommend. Yes. So get an insight, preview the experience. I'm not sure what I should do here because, I've seen in like marketing stuff where you give them too much insight into what's going to happen, where you like tell them everything. There's no more like looking forward to the experience. And you've kind of, sometimes people build things up in their head that are going to be better than sometimes they are, which is not the case here. I mean, whatever people think is going to happen is going to be 10 times better. But I don't know if I should, if sharing too much would reduce some of that excitement and surprise. Preview the experience. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to go with. Take a sneak peek. Unpack the offer. I wonder if this is, I'm kind of like, show me the value. I kind of like that. I think I'm going to go with that. Show me the value. Just direct, straight to the point. Just show me the value. I like that. Okay, let's figure out how to change this. Show me the value. I got to be careful of how I direct this because part of the value is watching this trailer. And I want to make sure they don't just go, show me the value, and then it takes you to some page and they're just like, meh, I don't care. I'll think on that. Definitely need to package up value here. Definitely package up value here and here. We're going to replace all that stuff. Cut this down. Again, we got to flush out this schedule. Okay, I think it's time to go to the whiteboard. So give me a second. Let me get this stuff turned around here. Let's see. Can you hear me? Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. I want to make sure this second mic that I have is actually working. Grab my stuff. I don't know where my pen went, so that's total real estate investor at a Home Depot pencil. That's what we're working with today. Okay. So as far as what are we covering at this workshop? So I'm not going to do it in any particular order. My brain is very, very scattered. So I'm just going to start throwing stuff on the board, writing it down, and then I'm going to start mind mapping and organizing it into categories and kind of clean it up. And then we're going to take all that, package it up, and then start crafting a landing page, start crafting a social media strategy. And that's going to help, hopefully launch this into a successful workshop that hopefully people can follow, like the logic and flow of what I'm trying to do. So there's going to be some things that are immediately important in terms of value. If I just think about the category for a second, there's going to be, let's see, where's my starting point here that you can see in the screen? Okay, cool, it's right here. There's going to be the view. So we have apparently chalk not working. Pigeon Forge. Some of this I need to sell the view. So the view of the property itself, it's on top of a mountain. You're overlooking the mountains. Beautiful, beautiful view. So that needs to be a selling point. I need to be posting videos about Pigeon Forge, which I have been already. I've been actually marketing this for probably, I want to say close to a month now on like Instagram, Facebook. I don't really do a ton of TikTok, but I'm starting to do more. It just hasn't been as much. I'm going to start increasing that significantly over the next few weeks. Let's see, Rod, what do you got here? Learn step by step. 1, learn step by step. 2, get hands-on real life experience. 3, ROI. I love that. Immediate ROI. Goal will have to be a deal under contract. Leave. That's a lot of pressure. I have to think about my audience on what that looks like, because I don't want to box myself into a commitment, right? Although I do like a challenge, I like to do those kind of challenges. But then, yeah, it's a goal. Yeah, I think crafting it around a goal and not a guarantee. Because if it's a guarantee, people are going to be like, "Where's my deal under contract?" Hopefully, the audience that's coming to this kind of event does not think that way. But yeah, I think that is a goal. So we have view. We have, let's see, get that down here. We have ROI. View, ROI. We have, I'm going to call it contracts. Make sure that's still in view. This is where I think I have a huge advantage, because there are very little contracts in the Sub2 community related to this method. It's very confusing. There's not a ton of training on it. So that's where I can provide a lot of value in that. And I think I don't want to say all the confusion, a lot of the confusion is that it's just a really hard strategy. Part of the confusion is that because there's not like a very clear path on the contract side, it's hard to understand. So that's why on day 1, I'm actually doing the contract training almost immediately. I have to go back and look at the schedule, but I think I'm doing it pretty early. I'm doing contracts, and then I'm doing underwriting after that. And through the contracts, I'm explaining the high level theory, and then through the underwriting, I'm getting into the nitty gritty details. And so I'm kind of leading up to, because there's no point in negotiating if you don't know what you're negotiating, right? That's why new people can't close, because they don't know what they're talking about. They don't even know the right questions to ask. And they get scared when someone asks them a question because they don't know. So that's why we're doing the contracts and the underwriting first. So there's a value in the contracts. We got view, contracts, ROI. Trying to think what else do we got if we had to think about another category, and then we can start breaking stuff out. So let's see, I want to say like buy and hold, maybe. Wholesale, $, the opportunity to make money, right? That's my ROI. I mean, there's also the education, right? I mean, some of that falls under contracts, but there's the education. There's an immediate ROI because you're going to walk in confused and you're going to walk out like, holy cow, I get this. Like, this makes sense. It's easy. Like, I know what to do now. So there's a lot of value in that because then they can turn that into a business model. I need to sell how this is scalable. I need to sell how this is realistic. You don't need to be paced to be able to do this. So it needs to be achievable. There's no point in me doing a masterclass and showing someone something that only people can do if they have $10 million. It doesn't make sense, right? It needs to be scalable. It needs to be achievable. It needs to be something that's like, oh, I can go do that. I just need to understand how it works. So on the views, I need to sell relationships. Part of that is, connections, relationships. So I'll be sharing resources, lenders, capital partners. And so I need to build out a network of lenders and capital partners and title companies. The challenge is like, how do you really monetize that? So like I'm essentially putting someone on a potential platform of like resources of like go to and sending them business. I think it's fair to be compensated for that if you're doing that, right? So that probably looks like affiliates, some sort of affiliate marketing. And then how do you structure affiliate marketing if, like, let's say I give resources, right? And I just list the person's name on a piece of paper. What's to stop that individual from just going directly to that person and not even mentioning the affiliate relationship? So I have to think about, I'm not going to get overly caught up in that because at the end of the day, I don't really care. If an affiliate opportunity happens, great. I think for me, it's more about delivering the value overall in the workshop. So I may not get too caught up in that, but relationships, networking with existing attendees, where do we have? We have education. What are some other things that people are going to expect to walk out? I'm going to walk over to my agenda real quick and check out what I have here. Let me walk through that. Okay. So I'm going to have to kind of go walking back and forth. We're going to talk about, where am I here? We're going to talk about branding. I think that's really, really important. I had my first, I'll call it my first pace moment the other day. I had a phone call and I recorded it too, so I have proof. It was on my 32-hour live, actually. It was in the last 20 minutes of that 32-hour live. An agent was I was on the phone with an agent, and she was like, she said something that I was like, yeah, I've been watching your content, and it's so cool that you pride yourself on disclosure and transparency on like how you do this method and all that. I was like, she clearly watched my YouTube video. And so I thought that was pretty cool. Like branding is so important. If anything, it's just to establish credibility. The reality is people aren't going to watch your stuff. They're probably not going to watch my stuff, but at least I got enough videos to look like I'm credible, right? Because you just want someone scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through YouTube, Instagram, whatever. Just they're going to look for 5 seconds and they'll be like, oh, okay, this guy's legit, and then move on. That's all you want. That's what you want to accomplish. Mission accomplished. So when I get on the phone with agents, they know I'm credible because they've done their homework. They look me up online. They see that I have some sort of presence, and it looks like I'm doing things right. I mean, I am, but it looks like optically that I'm doing things. So we got branding. I'm going to talk about how important that is. I'm going to share some of those real stories. Then we got confused to under contract, which is part of the contract right here. So we got the contracts. We're going to be doing a deep dive on the contracts, start to finish, everything involved in this type of method. And then you're going to get the physical contracts as well. And you can use as templates to copy and paste and fill in the right information and be able to use that. We're going to talk about how to find your own deal. That's an opportunity. Going back to ROI. Let's see. Save money. AF, assignment fees. Find your own deal. Stop paying wholesale. Sorry, my cat's hitting my camera. Find your own deals. Save money. Why pay wholesale? If you don't want to do that, as far as sourcing your own deals, I mean, keep paying wholesalers, but I'm going to give you an option. You're going to know how to source your own deals, so that way you don't have to rely on wholesale. Underwriting mastery. Walk in confused, walk out an expert. I didn't even think about this earlier. So underwriting. I'm going to give people my underwriting model, which I never hand out. That's what they're going to get. So you're just going to be able to plug in a few basic numbers and have an idea of what your potential return is. Closing, what your closing costs are going to be, all that good stuff. Obviously, you're going to want to calculate your cash flow, your overall leverage, what your exit period is. I've seen a few calculators floating around. No one talks about the exit. No one talks about that. So my calculator or my underwriting model will look at the maturity date that you're negotiating and project the property appreciating at, let's say 4% annual compound growth, and looking at, okay, in 8 years, this property growing at 4% annually, what does that value look like? Can you refinance in, like, let's say an 8% cash refinance on the LTV? Is that enough to pay off the underlying debt? And then the underlying debt is also maturing on the amortization schedule, really like advanced stuff built into it. Show the amortization schedule and can calculate what that overall payoff is going to be to show you whether you're going to be able to exit out of that loan or not. Really, really important. So that's going to be the underwriting. So I need to spend a lot of time focused on the value of that. That is a substantial value. I can't tell you how many times people come to me and send me terrible deals because they don't know how to underwrite. And I've seen a lot of wholesalers get really bad deals under contract because they don't know how to underwrite. If they knew how to underwrite them, they would probably be able to negotiate better terms. So that really, I'm going to put a star next to that because we really need to hammer the fact of that's the value that I'm going to provide. I have some AI around this. I haven't decided if I'm going to publicly provide that yet. I probably will, but I just don't want to tell people, even though I'm telling you now. And then we're going to do hangout. Probably some fun activity out in town. Just hang out, have a good time. That goes up in here to Pigeon Forge. Just enjoy it. That's day one. So that's day one. Day two. Here's what we need to figure out the agenda here that we're doing. So, which would be Sunday. Day two, we're going to be doing LOI overview. You're going to get those templates. I'm going to show you why we're putting certain information on the LOI. And then we're going to be doing, as we're doing that, putting that together, we're going to be blasting. We're going to be sending out hundreds and hundreds of offers. That's how we're going to feed that up to the ROI, right? Either we're going to be assigning or we're going to be getting under contract and buying. We're going to talk about how to negotiate. And so I want to be covering this really early in the morning because I want to be blasting out LOIs. Actually, what I want to do right here, this is better. I want a larger separation between when I'm blasting out LOIs and when I'm doing actual underwriting and then actual phone calling. So I want a 2-day separation between that. So when I go to find your own deals, I'm going to do LOI blasting. I'm going to show people how to find them. And then I'm going to show you how to send out how can I package that up and send out offers at that time without going into the LOI, because then people are going to be like, wait, what's on this LOI? Like, what are we doing? I have a feeling that this LOI blaster section is going to have to be fit into day two. So I need to figure out if I have space in the agenda for that. And so this is part of the process, right? Like if you're developing a workshop, you need to be mind mapping how long this is going to take you, because I've always been amazed at the people running workshops. Like you can tell who's a true pro when they run a workshop and or run anything and they stick to the agenda the whole time. It's really impressive to see that when you have a time slot of 2 hours and you hit it right on the mark, go to the next topic, that's hard. You have to know exactly what you're talking about for that duration and make sure you're steering everyone in the right direction. So what I'm actually going to be doing as well, I believe, and by the way, so far, I just to give you a time frame. Now, I don't want you to put this burden on yourself, but I would say so far I've spent 50 hours working on this workshop. And by the time it's said and done, it's going to be 150 probably. I'd say another 100 hours left. But I'm creating something that's like, it's going to be scalable. It's going to be rinse and repeat. You know, if I have one quarterly, I won't have to work that hard because I'm doing all the work right now and I'm laying down the foundation for it. What I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to run through all of this and I'm going to record every single thing. And it's going to do two things for me. One, it's going to be extra value that I'm going to give to attendees. I'm going to record everything, of course, but what's going to happen is they're going to get the recording and they're going to see it's an 8-hour video and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to watch that. Like, honestly, I've never watched the re-recording of Squat Summit. Never. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run through this whole thing and I'm going to record each topic. And so each topic will be that 1-hour video, that 2-hour time block of what we're doing. I'm going to run through essentially a mock session and break them up into videos. And it'll be the content that they need or that they want. So in the future, if they have a question specifically on finding your deals, they don't have to sort through that through 8 hours of video. 2, it's going to tell me how long, when I'm filming those trainings, how long I am naturally talking and what I need to press further or leave more time, because then I got to build in time for questions, that kind of stuff. Relationship building. Appreciate that, Rod. Yeah. They're staying at the property. So the property is it's not a traditional Airbnb. I mean, we have the property for investor workshops. Like, that is what it's for. It's built for that. It has an area for conference area to do like breakout sessions, do like, this kind of stuff. We're gonna have cameras, mic set up, for podcasts, for streaming, like that kind of stuff. Like, that's what the property is built for. And it's also catering to corporate retreats. So companies that want to have, so I'll just explain that real quick, our core business model on that property specifically. It's going to be corporate retreats. We're going to advertise to companies that want to have a place to get away, and it'll be essentially 4-week blocks where they could rent out the property and allocate however they want that time. So if they want to do quarterly board meetings, they're going to get their corporate ROI by having their strategic executives, their strategic whatever team, having those deeper level conversations while also having fun in Pigeon Forge. And the second is they're going to give back to their employees, because the way we're structuring our program is that they can allocate that time that's left to give to their employees so they can take their families to vacation at the property. So they're getting two things. They're giving back to their employees, which I am making a podcast on, and it's called Impact Beyond the Office. I haven't created it yet, but I will create that in the next month or two. And I'm going to target CEOs, owners of companies, bring them on, and the focus of that podcast is to talk about the impact that their organization is doing beyond the office. In that podcast, oh, by the way, I have this property here in Pigeon Forge. If you want to give back to your employees, I have this program where you can get your corporate ROI with your strategic board meetings, and you can make the impact beyond the office of your employees. How freaking genius is that? Part of that came from Pace GPT, so I have to give a shout out to Pace for that. So that's the core business model, and then the supplemental business model on top of that is investor workshops. So not only my own investor workshops, but if anyone in Owners Club wants to run their own workshops, this will be a property that people can do that. Small, intimate settings. So I need to focus on the relationship piece heavily. So building relationships, that definitely has to be a core focus. And so going back to the schedule, I need to rearrange that. I'll think on that for now, for the LOI blaster and the timing of negotiating. Yeah, we're really gonna dive into. We covered the underwriting. Yeah, this is critical. This has to happen. So we have to blast here because we need a bunch of time on day 2 to do underwriting. we're just going to sit there for several hours and underwrite property after property after property after property. They're going to watch me do it, and then other people are going to do it as well. So we're going to take turns doing underwriting. And then we're going to cover, this is kind of going to be like almost like a little bit of a recap of the contracts, but we're also going to be covering the TC workflow. We're going to talk about the role of the TC. We're going to go into the checklist. I think this is going to be, how am I going to structure this? So we got the TC workflow. Repetition, I love that. That's how I learned the best. Thanks, Ron. How are we going to weave that in? I think, so we're going to do the case study. We're going to do a live case study. So the Pigeon Forge property itself is a Morby method. We're going to do a case study on the very property people are sleeping in. How gangster is that? So we're going to do a case study, and what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to weave in the TC checklist. So in that case study, this is where I'm going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to go through my emails. It won't take too much. It will take some time. It won't take too much time. I'm going to go through my emails, my text message. I'm going to go through the whole life cycle of that whole deal, dig all that stuff back up, and print off like every single email or like electronic copy, whatever, and create a chronological timeline of everything that happened in that transaction. And we're going to break that down, that case study, and we're going to tie in the TC checklist. We're going to go through that checklist as we're going through, like, hey, here's what happened in the transaction. Here's when it happened. Things are really going to start to click for people once we go through that case study, because you're going to have that foundational knowledge of, where is it at? The contracts. You're going to have, you're going to be a little confused, right? You're going to understand the contracts, but you're going to be like, okay, I get it, but I need it repeated like 4 more times. We'll get to that. We're going to get to the underwriting. You'll be like, okay, like this is starting to make a little bit more sense. And then we're going to get to like the LOIs, the negotiating. We're going to underwrite. You're going to be like, okay, I'm starting to understand the numbers. This is where it's all going to click, the case study. You're going to start seeing real things develop during that point in time. And so we're going to go through that entire thing. And so that, I think that will pretty much, I don't know how long that case study is going to take, but that's pretty much going to wrap up, because actually we're going to go over, we're really recapping everything from day 1 and day 2, because in that case study, we're going to go over the initial LOI. We're going to go over what it was said on there, what the negotiation was, the contracts, how we got under contract. We're going to do a deep dive of the actual contract. Oh, I need to write this down. I'm not going to tell people about this, but this is going to happen. Settlement statement proof. I'm not telling people. I'm only telling people on this call. So this is a good idea. So I'm going to give people settlement statements of different types, a couple, not a lot, just maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 different types of Morby methods that I've done. And I'll give that to them, and they can use that as their third-party credibility. There's a lot of times agents, they're so confused of this whole deal structure. a confused mind always says, right? They want clarity, they want confidence. If they can't understand it, they wanna feel that you're confident and you've done this before. Because if you're not confident, they're going to be spooked, right? So you want to be able, like, I can easily, they'll say stuff like, well, have you ever done this before? Like, are you sure you know what you're doing and stuff like that? And you're like, yeah, like this is just another Monday afternoon for me. Like I've done this A, B, and C and all these different properties, right? And I can send the proof, I can back it up, I can send the HUD, that's the end all be all proof, right? So I want people to have that same ability and just say, yeah, we do these kind of deals all the time. My partner, here's a deal that, we did. And you say, me and my partner, well, you gotta be careful with that. How would you frame that? Here's one of the deals that our team has done is how I would frame that, because I will be on your team, right? I'm part of your team. I'm one of your partners. You can use me as credibility, and you can, if it need be, you can provide that settlement statement. And then if anything, you just have it as a reference, right? So that's really helpful, because I do have that question come up from agents from time to time. Sometimes they've actually wanted to see the proof. I'm like, okay, here you go. No problem. I tell you what's really beneficial, even more so than like negotiating, because it doesn't happen often when I have to send proof. What's more so beneficial to have that settlement statement is for the title company. They can get on board, like if you, depending on how you explain it, you can articulate how to structure this, and they might get it, but they'll really get it when they see the settlement statement. And when you can send them a HUD of a real deal that closed, and they can see it was done by a real title company, and they see that it was, done title insurance and it was all legit above board, they get a lot more comfortable knowing that, okay, clearly someone was able to close on this, so we should be able to figure it out too. That's really helpful. I've done that many, many, many times where the title company's telling me, no, 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 no. And maybe it's something I said, maybe I didn't articulate it well enough. But when I send that statement and then I can reiterate what I'm trying to get done, like, oh yeah, we can do that, no problem. That is really beneficial. That's a huge bonus, in my opinion. That needs to be highlighted. Well, I don't really want to tell people I'm doing that, but it'll just be a bonus. So that wraps up day 2. I don't know, we'll probably go hang out, do some more Pigeon Forge stuff. Day 2. Day 3. We'll check out the agenda. Okay, this is where we're done with the theory, we're done with the education, we're going, oh, you can't, I'll do day 3 over here. Running out of real estate here. Day 3, we're done with all that. We're putting it into play. We sent out LOIs on day 1, so we should be getting responses. We're going to be underwriting. Again, you're going to underwrite so many properties, you're going to be sick of underwriting. But that's how you're going to learn. Underwriting. That's really terrible handwriting. I think my chalk is disappearing. Underwriting leads. Some OCD person is going to be like, why did he stop writing in white and now it's blue? Okay, it's going to bother me too. We're going to underwrite those warm leads. So those leads that are coming in from those LOIs, we're going to start underwriting. We're going to start getting the reps in. Then, after about an hour or so of that, we're going to be, I don't know in which particular order, title companies. We're going to be calling title companies. We're going to be calling lenders. You don't need to rely on me for my, oh, come on. You don't need to rely on me. Wow, that's some bad handwriting. Title companies, lenders, capital. Wait, title companies, lenders. Oh yeah, agents. You don't need to rely on me for resources I may give you. You will have the skill set to be able to source this yourself. Title companies, lenders. The agents part, that's just really responding to the warm leads that we're getting direct to agent. So you're going to hear me call title companies that I've never even talked to ever. I'm going to call them up and I'm going to walk them through this type of transaction, and we're going to find title companies that can do this transaction. You're going to see the questions that I ask them. And you'll also get the scripts for all of that. If I go up like here, I'm going to say scripts. I get the same responses from agents via email. It's all the same. It's like 5 different things. And I have a response for all of them. You'll get those responses. We'll call title companies. We'll find title companies that can do this. We'll call lenders. We'll call lenders that we know that they can do this. And we'll be responding to the agents for the offers. That's what we're going to start negotiating. So you'll be listening to me negotiate live, and you're going to get an opportunity to do all that yourself. You're going to be calling title companies. You're going to be calling lenders. You're going to be calling agents and dealing with these leads that are coming in. Because, you got to earn your assignment fee, right? Or whatever we're buying. And so this is going to be kind of a trade-off between, me doing it, a little bit of hot seat action, giving some real-time feedback collectively in the group, all that sorts of stuff. So that is literally going to be the entire day. And we're going to wrap up, I think, around like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. That'll be the whole day. Is like, I can assure you, like, we could probably, for the amount, like, I don't know how many we'll send. We'll probably send out like 500, 600 offers, something like that. We could literally spend the whole day underwriting, like legit, without even calling anyone. So that will take up literally the whole day, and that's all going to be about action taking, real deals, calling real people, sourcing lenders, title companies, etc. So that's what I'm thinking on the agenda for everything. So now that we kind of have a framework, this is going to be the silent thinking phase. Let me get some water real quick. This is going to be the interesting part. I wish I had my pen. Where did my pen go? Okay. So now, I found my pen. It was in my pocket. How do we package up all this value in a way it's digestible and how people can understand it and see the potential millions of dollars of real estate that they're going to buy through understanding how all this works, how to structure it, and how can we create FOMO. That's what we want in all of our marketing. Holy cow, I can't miss this. It's life changing. That's the effect that we're going after. So that's what we need to figure out next. The challenge, I think, that anyone's going to have in putting together a workshop or trying to deploy a marketing strategy is, one, how do you not come off as repulsive, right? You don't want to just be selling, hey, come to my workshop on September 20th. Next day, hey, come to my workshop on September 20th. Come to my workshop. It's going to be cool. It's on September 20th. By the way, my workshop's on September 20th. Did you know that? How do we avoid that? How do we create the FOMO without giving away the secret sauce, like giving away the punchline, right? So, I mean, there's a lot on here. I could literally do a video on all of this every single day for the next 6 to 8 weeks. I could easily do that. The part I can't figure out is I know I can create the video and make it attractive that people would want to watch the value. I just don't know how to structure that content in a way that doesn't end with me saying, come to the workshop. That's the part I'm trying to think of. Like, how do I package this together without the focus or the end line being come to the workshop? Because I think people would get sick of me saying, come to the workshop. Contracts. So what would I post about contracts? Oh, I already know what I'm going to post about that. I'm going to have move on to that one. Well, let's think about that. So if I did a post about contracts, how I create some significance around how powerful words are and how they can create wealth. A stack of papers that's blank, no wealth. A stack of papers, aka purchase contracts, all the contracts that you're going to get here, how that can translate to millions and millions of dollars of real estate. That's an attractive post in my mind. But how do I package that up in a way that doesn't say, come to the workshop, that's where you're going to learn it? Maybe that's a tough question. I may have to pull in the big guns here and go to Page GPT for this. Could do probably like a watermark on the post, like in a caption video, or if it's just a picture, just put a simple like the Morby method, the mastermind, like just on that there. Thanks, Monique. Appreciate you. That could probably work, but it's not also direct enough to where it like gets you to bite. You could also do stories have been doing really well for me lately. You could also do the like a soft call to action where you put the message that you want to package together, and you just like literally just put the link on. You pin it on the post, right? Get on like a story, and just have the link there. Don't even say anything, and just have the link. Let me ask Page GPT where it is. Page GPT, my man, give me some good. I'm gonna put the mic down so I can type real quick. Okay, so I asked Pace GPT, if I'm making 30 posts over 30 days, how can I talk about the value of my workshop without always ending the post saying, come to my workshop, because it would be tacky and annoying? Here's what he said. You're absolutely right, and every ending post would be annoying. Instead, showcase the value of your workshop organically by educating, inspiring, engaging. Okay, hold on. It jumped to a lot of different things. People connect with stories, not sales pitches. Share real-life examples of deals you've closed, challenges you've overcome, or transformations your students have had. Example, a seller once told me, I'll never sell my house for terms. 3 weeks later, I walked out of his house with a signed contract. Call to action. instead of saying come to my workshop, end with something like want to learn how to handle objections like this? Let me know in the comments. Okay, I'm not sure where he's going with that one. Struggle to find another example post. Struggling to find creative finance deals. Start with wholesaler dead leads. They're gold mines. Yada yada yada. What's your go-to method for finding? I don't see any like strong call to action. What's the biggest challenge you face? Let me hold on one second. I'm saying I don't see any of these posts or responses driving traffic to my workshop link. So if your goal is to drive traffic, you need to be more intentional about it, obviously. The key is to create curiosity, urgency, and value so people feel compelled to click. Instead of saying sign up for my workshop, use softer call to actions like if you want to learn more about this strategy, check out the workshop details here. I'll be breaking down this strategy step by step in the workshop. Oh, I think I just found a good idea. Okay, so Monique said you need a good give to ask ratio, ideally 5-to-1. Yeah, Pace talks about doing 10-to-1, where you're giving 10-to-1. I think I've given hundreds and hundreds of hours. I think I'm at the point where I'm like, it's time to ask, right? So I think the challenge is that I've give, never asked, and now I'm at the point where I need to ask. But if I look at the grand scheme of things of the ratio in which I'm giving versus asking, it's like 700-to-1. But in the short period of time, if I stack up too many asks, it starts to look like it's, ask, and then you kind of forget about the giving. So there need, to your point, there still needs to be a strong ratio of that. So the idea I had, no, I don't know if, I know Sub 2 is gonna block a lot of links that I post. What I need to do is share what, Monique? What is what? Sorry, I'm lost. Oh, what my good idea is. So yeah, I'm talking in my head. Yeah. Yeah. Let me share that. Okay, so it doesn't solve the problem I'm still trying to figure out, but the value that I'm providing, I'm gonna upload those videos on the workshops page. Like maybe do, I don't know what limitations I have on ClickFunnels. If anything, it's its own dedicated page, but it's on the workshop URL. So when people click on the value, if I start driving all the free value that I already do on a daily basis, and I've already built that muscle to deliver that value, I start driving it all to that page. They're seeing the link, right? They may or may not be curious. They may, just click on the direct link that they're looking for. But if I host all of that information in the same URL, they're probably going to start consuming it, right? Like if I give them the answer to their question, that's the direct answer to their question at that one source, they're going to be like, oh, that was a good answer. Let me see what else he said about all this other stuff, right? And then they start clicking and watching all the different topics I'm talking about. All of that's free. now they may have built up enough trust with me to go and click on the main, page and kind of see what it's all about. So I'm driving traffic to that link by giving that free value. So that was my idea of how to drive traffic to it, which I didn't have that until tonight. Let me write that down because I'll forget. Content, traffic. And so I bought Morby Method masterclass.com. So that's where I'm going to be hosting that page. I think it technically is live right now. Just don't look at it. It looks like crap right now. It's not built out, which I still need to go back and build that out here a little bit. So I need to drive the content traffic on funnel dedicated page. I don't know if I can embed social media links on ClickFunnels. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But that would get the traffic I need to do that. So that's a good idea. Let's go back to page GPT, see what he says, because I still need to figure out how to not constantly sell the workshop. Here's how I structure. People love stories. Yeah, I get that. Testimonial, engage your audience. We're trying to. I mean, all of this is around selling the workshop. I don't know a way around not selling the workshop. Not every deal. What are you thinking? I mean, if I'm giving value in every single post, to me, when I think about like that 5-to-1 ratio or 10-to-1 ratio, when I say 10-to-1, meaning I give 10, I ask 1, right? I sell on 1. So for every 10 posts I make, I'm giving value, and that 1 post is asking, right? It's the call to action, and it's the workshop. I'm wondering what people's opinions are if I think about the 10 side of the equation. If I'm getting value in that post, like it's just all filled with like good information and value, and at the end of it, you have the link to the workshop, or you say, hey, if you want to learn more, come to the workshop. Our next workshop, whatever. Does that count as the 1? Or if you gave value in that whole post, but at the very end, you're like, hey, here's the link to the workshop. Are you really asking them? That's what I don't know. I'm not quite certain. I don't know if that would count as the 1 or if that would count as the 10. That's my biggest roadblock at the moment of trying to figure that out. How do I balance that? So if anyone's got some magic answers, that'd be great. That is what I need to figure out. Okay. And then the next problem, the next challenge to solve is, how do you create content around all of this without giving away the secret sauce, right? Like, make it intriguing enough, but don't make it to where it's like, I just gave away all of it. The other thought I had was, if I'm just kind of just giving away this value, but it's so fragmented that like people they don't understand the whole flow A to Z, that they're just never going to be able to piece it together anyways and just give it away. Right. So I don't know. There needs to be a balance on how I'm delivering that content strategy. I wish I could ask more people. Maybe I should start polling people. What is it that makes them decide to join the workshop? Maybe I can ask myself that question. Why would I come to this workshop? Any workshop. But my answer is going to be different than a lot of people's answers, but there's probably going to be 2 or 3 type of general people. Let's figure out my core audience. So, well, Owners Club is going to be like the #1 audience, right? Education. Invest. People that see value in investing in education. But there's a lot of people that invest in stuff too. They don't take action and they don't do anything. There's a lot of people in Gator that invest. They don't take action because they think it's so easy and that you can do it passively without work. But then they realize how much work it is. They're like, I'm good. I'm frozen, right? I can't do anything. This is not for me. I'll just sit there and learn. So my core audience, someone who's willing to invest, someone who obviously has capital to invest in self-development. I mean, the ROI, obviously. I think a lot of this is going to be around creating the ROI. This is the part that I mentioned about an hour ago that I'll be silent just thinking in my head. Thank you, Rod. I need some brainstorming. I need some people interacting, giving me their 2 cents to help me work through this. Rod says to have an actionable plan with a proven method. Let me think about that. To have an actionable plan with a proven method. This is definitely a proven method. Actionable plan. That's good. I like that. I like where you're going with this. Okay. Roadmap. Roadmap. KPIs. How many offers should I be sending out? Should I be sending out 200 a day, 300 a day, 500 a day? Let's see what else you got. Rod says, key in on the fragmented aspect, focus on one strategy and get good at it. When you say focus on one strategy and get good at it, are you talking about, what are you talking about there? So like I view Morby method as one strategy. Is that what you're talking about? Or which are you talking about a certain component of this? Or you're just talking like generally speaking on workshops? Have an actionable plan with a proven method. Roadmap. What does your next 90 days look like? Oh, I should sell that. That would be social media gold there. If I can come up with a good 90-day game plan. I like that. Step by step. Here's your 90-day game plan to get your first deal. So problem is I haven't had time to do this. I need to focus more. So in my newsletter, what I started doing, I took Chris, he's in sub two, and say, hey, I'm going to work with you and get you your first deal, and we're going to film it. And so I need to go back to getting that fired up again, because that is the roadmap. Like, here's the path to getting your first deal. And if I just keep filming that before the workshop, I have that training series, and I can couple that with the, now you're seeing the late night crazy man coming out on the wild ideas video series with Chris. First deal. That would be amazing. You got the step-by-step framework, and Rod, to your point, you have the actionable, so that the step-by-step is the actionable plan, and the proven method is watching the training series I did with Chris. I walked him through getting his first deal with the Morby method. That's exactly what you're talking about. I love that. That's good. That's really good. Okay. We're on to something here. I like it. Why would I come to a workshop? Why would I pay money to come to a workshop, a high ticket item workshop? I mean, my mind just keeps going to ROI. Going back to my core audience, what is the characteristics, the personality of someone who's willing to invest in their education? They have capital. They're probably, well, it's not always the case, because there's people in Owners Club that to invest in their education. They have capital, but they really have no experience. So I can't necessarily lean too heavy on like people with experience. They're willing to invest in their education. They have capital. I need to sell the long-term. That's what I need to sell. The long-term ROI. So you're telling me I can come to your workshop for $3,000 and walk away with the ability to buy $5 million a year in real estate? Yes, that is the answer. We're just going to cut that clip right there and just test the trailer. Love it. I should cut up part of this live and post little clippets of that. That would be good. Okay. I think I'm getting close to the end of this whiteboard session. I'm just trying to think, see if my phone's still dead or not. I never charged it. My phone is completely dead. Okay. Don't have a way to take a picture of this. Why am I going to pay money? Plus the vacation part. I mean, I got to lean into that pretty heavily. I mean, there's definitely some value in staying overnight. You don't have to worry about booking a hotel. I mean, it's already taken care of for you. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's good enough. Let's go back and start getting to work on this landing page. Shift over my camera here in a second. Oh. All right, I am back. Let me fix my all right, so let's go back to this. All right, this is going to be more of just plugging away and getting to work here. All right, okay, I can still kind of see my chalkboard here. All right, so we got day one. I mean, this is pretty much done. Write offers that get accepted, negotiation. What did I put on day two? Negotiation. Oh, I think I said I needed to do this on day one. Find your own deals. Ooh. Okay, so I need about 30 minutes to show how to find your own deals. That'll actually be to 4. Oh man, I'm running out of time. From contracts, I'm literally going to run out of time. I wanted to do that after lunch. I don't think I need an hour on this. I think I can bump this up. 1:30, 2:30. Underwriting, mastery. All right, let's duplicate this. So we got, yeah, we're definitely going to need an hour. Oh, no, wait, I did the wrong one. Finding your own deals. Yeah. I think I need sending out a letter of intent and doing it at scale. I feel like I need a lot more time than that. I don't know if I can get underwriting done. Well, that's 2 hours. Okay, so letter of intent, doing it at scale, underwriting Yeah, I got to push this back. There's just no way. I need an hour and a half. Sending out letters of intent. I'm doing it at scale. I can do this, finding your own deals. Build your pipeline, boost your profits. Yep. Sending out letter of intent. Letters of intent and doing it at scale. Underwriting mastery. I can do that in an hour and a half. Write offers that get accepted. LOI overview simplified. And then I can go into more detail about that. Negotiation tips. Okay, I think that works. So we got, this would be the LOI blaster type training. Negotiation. That'll be an hour. And we got the TC. Or on the agenda, I need one-liner description that generates FOMO. This is for the transaction coordinator workflow. Bro, you can't be drinking my water. It's not cool. Oh, my OBS is doing that thing again where it's not sharing my screen. Lovely. Okay. So let me fix that again. Okay, so I'm asking ChatGPT, the plug and play TC system. I love that's some FOMO stuff right there. Steal the exact workflow. Nope. The plug and play TC system. Yeah, we're definitely stealing that. The plug and play TC system. Love it. That's where we'll go over the checklist. So that'll be at 11. Let's see. Day 2. What do we got left? One at 30. Let's see. I don't know what I should do on the lunches. I mean, I'll probably have some snacks and stuff there, just like normal, like as if you were staying at an Airbnb, like stuff you would buy at the grocery store just for like food and stuff. But I do want to like spend a lot of time having fun in Gatlinburg, but I couldn't afford to pay for everyone. So like, how do I make it clear? It's like, hey, it's, it's optional, but you're kind of like on your own. Unless this thing's sold out. If this thing's sold out, I would happily let it rain and pay for people to do a lot of cool stuff. But I'm going to go with the approach that it's probably going to start off pretty slow. for the first one. I guess we'll have to play that by ear as we go. But the plug and play TC system, leave that there. Do we have lunch built in here? So we got, oh, okay, that's day one. It's kind of like just hanging out. I kind of want to leave 2 hours to like go somewhere cool in Pigeon Forge and hang out. Lunch optional, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll find a better way to reword that. Let's see. What do we got here? What time is it? Oh, it's 11:41. Okay, cool. We're only 2 hours in. 30 hours left. Just kidding. We're not doing another 32-hour live. Okay, so we have lunch. That's optional. I want to do a 2-hour lunch. After the lunch, we're going to do the case study. What should I call that? Next one. Case study of an actual deal, of an actual method deal. This is the blueprint. One real deal, every play, every doc, every move. Something like this, but say something about case study. I don't care, I misspelled it. What am I thinking? 15 people. I'm thinking 14. I think it sleeps 14 max in the property. That doesn't include myself, but I mean, honestly, if it came to it and it was that much demand, which I don't know if there would be, I don't know. Maybe there might be. I mean, I've done a lot of branding on this, so maybe it might. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'll sleep in the garage. I don't care. I'll sleep in a closet. Let's see. Let's say something about case study. It didn't say anything about case study. This is the blueprint. No. Make it shorter and use case study. You could do a working lunch and order Subway or Jimmy John's. Yeah. I don't know. We're going to play it by ear, honestly. I think I shouldn't pigeonhole myself into doing something. Let's see. Because, I mean, honestly, it's going to come down to budget. I mean, that's really what it's going to come down to. If it's a pretty small crowd, going to be pretty limited. If it sells out, I mean, I'm going to put that money, put a decent chunk into creating a higher quality of experience. Yeah, I'm just leaving it as lunch optional, you know? I think that's broad enough. I can always come in here and change it, you know, if it does pretty well in the first couple weeks on tickets and stuff. Yeah, I definitely have stuff like that in the house that people can just snack on and that kind of stuff for sure. I'm definitely planning on that. It's still showing my chat GPT thing. It's highly annoying. I wish I could figure this out. Okay. I need to time this. Okay, so it's 11:45. At what point does my screen stop sharing? Maybe it's on like every 5 minutes or something. I need to figure this out. Okay, but day 2, or yeah, okay, so case study, 2 p.m. I kind of like this. Watch more method in action, real case study. I like this. Watch more method. Maybe say something about the property retreat being the case study. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of cool. Watch the more method in action, real case study from our retreat property. The Morby method deal behind our retreat property. See how we acquire a full Morby method retreat property deep dive. Watch the Morby method in action, real case study from our retreat property. Yeah, I like that. Real case study. Not sure if I need to cap that or not. From our retreat property. Cool. Love that. Okay, so that'll be a couple hours because I'm essentially doing a capstone or recap on everything. Just diving into it all. Things should really start to crystallize at that point. People should really understand it pretty well. So that's day 2. Day 3, we have how many hours would that be? 3, 4, 5. I mean 3 hours that'd be a lot. What I am thinking is this is like, in my opinion, a killer deal. Like this would be cool to do. Let's see. This 2-day pass to go to these like attractions. Let me see if I can play this without the audio. $40 for a 48-hour pass of go to the trampoline park, golf club. It's like all mini golf. I feel like that's amazing value, honestly. Like that'd be so cool. See you, Rod. Have a good night. Thanks for joining, man. Yeah, this would be pretty cool. I like this. That would be a cool activity. Okay. What did I put? Day 1, hang out in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Interesting. Why can't I type? Okay, let's just edit this. Hang out in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Optional. I think that's like, I think that's a pretty solid schedule. I mean, that's a full day, right? Well, kind of, not really. There's a 2-hour break. I mean, I think there's enough space in here. It's going to be a lot of complex intellectual stuff, so it's going to eat up some brain power. But I think there's enough space to like really have a good time, learn everything you need to learn, enjoy the environment, enjoy getting to connect with other people, and achieve the ROI that you need to achieve. And then wrapping up day 3. And if anyone wants to hang out afterwards, I mean, that's an option, or people can just take off, they travel back home or whatever. I think I need to sell. So, okay, so let's leave that there. I definitely need to sell the add-on value of, like, if they want to stay a couple extra days, they can do that and bring their family, or do that before or after. That for sure should happen. Whew, this one's the toughest one. What do I say? It's the very first thing they're looking at. Okay, so it's 11:52 and my screen froze again. So that was about 5 minutes. Let's test to see when the next time that happens. Let me get my screen back on. This is the first thing people see when landing on page. What should I say or improve? Immediate emotion, clarity. Here's how I would tighten it. Build a 6-figure creative finance business in 3 days. Oh, that's gangster. I like that. Learn the Morby method inside the property it helped acquire. Okay. 3 days, 1 blueprint, a lifetime of deals. Man, those are killer. I love that. Okay. Build a 6-figure creative finance business in 3 days. I feel like that's a little broad. Like, what does that mean? Am I a wholesaler now? What does that mean? Learn the Morby method. 3 days, 1 blueprint, a lifetime of deals. Feel like we can move this down. 3 days, one blueprint, a lifetime of deals. I like that, short and sweet. I kind of understand where this was going, but I don't. This isn't just theory. We just bought the property. The deal that made this retreat possible. You'll learn it step by step, right where it happened. I mean, it's kind of cool, but do people really care? Used. I don't know if people really care about that. Three days of powerful learning. Knowing how to structure it, fund it, and close deals. Okay, build a 6-figure. More like this. Your 90-day blueprint. To build your 90-day plan. Blueprint to build blueprint to building wealth. Let's come back to that. Oh. Three days, one real deal. Your blueprint. This is stupid. That is a change. No, shoot. That needs to go. Next final step. Okay. So we need to change that because I don't like that. So this needs to be the main tagline needs to create FOMO and show them they will get an immediate ROI. Three days. What took others years, you'll learn in a weekend. Inside the real deal. Skip the guesswork. You'll sleep in a property we bought creatively and learn how to do the same before you leave. Something like that. Not quite there, but we're getting closer. We close this deal with the Morbid method. Now you'll leave knowing exactly how to replicate it. Build a six-figure business in 3 days by learning the strategy that bought this very property. I like these two. Give me more variations. I'm just wondering if that last part seems a little too good to be true. You'll stay in the property we bought, live inside the deal, and leave with the blueprint to do it yourself. Ooh, I like that. I don't feel like that's enough. Sleep in the deal that proves, okay, we used more meth to buy this house. Now you'll learn inside and out. Experience the strategy from the inside. This property, this isn't a theory weekend. You're staying in a real deal. I'm learning how to do it in 3 days, one property, everything you need to learn. Step into a real deal. This property wasn't bought. Okay. Sleep in the deal that proves it works. This is kind of intriguing. It's like, what do you mean? Sleep in the deal? What are you talking about? I need to know more. Live inside the deal. Live inside the deal. Learn the strategy that bought this property. And my computer froze again. That's great. Due for my every 5-minute freezing here. Get this up and running. Okay, cool, perfect. All right, sleep in the deal that proves it works. Walk away ready to close your own. I'm not sure if that quite gets there. Sleep in the deal that proves it works. Walk away ready to close your own. Build a six-figure business in 3 days. Learn how to do. Which one is better? I don't know. Maybe both. Why not do both? Let me see what that looks like. Build a six-figure business in 3 days by learning the strategy that bought this very property. Gangster. Sleep in the deal that proves it works. Walk away ready to close your own. Love it. I like it. I think this is pretty good. Get the video. What should I put here? No, I don't like that. Not sure how we ended up here. Okay, so if I look at this, we've written down all the value. How do I capture it on this page? Build a six-figure business in 3 days. Okay, so we got all the value written down. How do we capture it? This is all good. I like this. I like this. We're going to have the video that walks through everything. This makes sense. That's link, pricing, schedule, show me the value. Where does the show me the value link to? Show me the value. Okay, that link's there. Build a six-figure business in 3 days. Okay. Includes 2 night stay. So now we got to fill this space here with value. So land it on the page. What's the first thing you see? 3-day masterclass. Build a six-figure business in 3 days by learning this strategy. By learning the strategy that bought this very property. Sleep in the deal that proves it works. Walk away ready to close your own. Okay. 3 days, one blueprint, a lifetime of deals. Okay. My stays included. Awesome. Video here that'll sell. Okay. What is my ROI? What should I sell here? in this section, I want to sell the value of the step-by-step blueprint. Wow, there's a lot of space between that. How do I get rid of all that dead space? Doesn't look like I can. Oh, top margin. Okay, that helps. Is there a bottom margin? Okay. Then we got okay. Of course, my screen is not showing. Get ready for another 3 days of extreme level. No, I don't like that. Scripts, purchase contracts, negotiation responses, TC, plug and play, TC, system. Yeah, let's change that. We need a header for that. What happened to my... Okay. The proven blueprint. Give me more like this, but you didn't include what I originally said. What about the TC plug and play? Can I come up with a FOMO name around the 90-day blueprint? Or the 90-day deal machine, the 90-day cash flow blueprint, the fast track framework, the Morby method 90, the 90-day, the insider's 90-day. Hmm, 90 days to close? No, I don't know if I like that. Give me more ideas. From contact to close, the Morby method 90, the 90-day creative, the proven path. So, no, I don't like that. The 90-day deal sprint. Let's go back to some of these other ones. The full creative. Close. Everything you need to go from offer to close. I need to say something about step-by-step proven system. Okay, I'm actually getting kind of tired, so I need to wrap this up. Man, there's still so much here to do. Okay. Well, we got, let's see, so we got this done. Got the agenda. Okay. So we got that. Everything you need to know. Check in and check out for travel arrangements. Reach out. I got you covered. End of the day, I own this property. No, don't do LOL. Let's just not leave that. Let's take that off. What should I say about myself here? Oh, okay. I feel like there's a lot of different themes that I need to centralize into one. Like, what is the one core value that I'm going to anchor this whole workshop on? Because there's a lot of value, but it's kind of scattered. So I need to focus that value. Like, what's the end all be all? So we have the branding. The branding. So I mentioned blueprint there. Blueprint to building one. I don't know if I necessarily love that, but I need better 90-day blueprint names. Cash flow in 90, paid in 90, the plug and play, the step-by-step closer plan, what the closers use, the creative deal code, the hidden blueprint. Oh, wow, they give me a lot of examples. The creative closer. What am I doing here? Okay, it looks like that froze again. So let me kick that over. All right, so we're going to have to wrap this up soon. The 90-day your 90-day plan. I need a name. Warmby method. Need it to be short and catchy, around 90 days. Thinking about it being step by step framework. "90 days to done," the 90-day path, creative 90, a step 90 system, the 90-day deal map, day 1 to deal 90, deal in 90. The 90-day playbook, 90-day build on this. More names like this. The 90-day roadmap, the 90-day action plan. The 90-day results oriented deal in 90. The deal in 90 blueprint. Close in 90 blueprint. 90-day cash flow. Under contract in 90. The first 90. Your 90-day deal journey. Deal in 90 blueprint. I think that's what I'm leaning towards. Your deal in 90 blueprint. So let's sell that. In this section, talk about the deal in 90 blueprint. Mention the step-by-step framework to get deals. Unlock the deal in 90 blueprint. The proven step-by-step system to find, structure, and close. Okay, we're getting somewhere. The proven step-by-step system to find, structure, and close methods. Should I say something about getting paid? Duh. Find structure and get paid. The find structure and profit from Morby method deals. Proven. Okay. Step to close Morby without using your own. Learn how to find structure and get paid. Yada yada yada. Okay, let's combine both of these. Hey, how's it going? The proven step-by-step system to find, structure, and get paid. And get paid using the Morby method. Proven step-by-step. And profit in just 90 days. Okay, where was deal in 90 blueprint? Your deal in 90 blueprint. The Morby method playbook inner circle edition. Your deal in 90 blueprint. I feel like I need to change the name of this. That shows you exactly how to find, structure, and close more method deals, even if you're starting exact, you'll three days. Lasting relationships. Gain access to my network of relationships and create new ones. I don't know what I'm going to say there, but we'll leave it at that for now. Your deal in 90. Your deal in 90 blueprint. At the end of this master class, you will walk away with Okay. How can I structure that? I don't know. That's a good question. All right. Well, I am getting to the point where I'm pretty tired. So let's finish this up real quick. At the end of this masterclass, you'll walk away with the exact seller scripts, I use to negotiate and close deals, contracts I use to buy millions of dollars in real estate are plug and play TC system, so nothing slips through the cracks. Ooh, I need to build out this 90-day framework. I need to take a note of this. 90-day deal in 90 blueprint. Include a strategy around getting on wholesalers' buy list. And that is a note. Okay. I think that's a good stopping point for today. So go to live page. Okay, let's see if I can. Yeah, I think that's a good stopping point. All right. So hopefully through this. Oh, come on, man. It's 9 minutes. I feel like we got to make it to 3 hours. Yeah, we're going to have to make it to 3 hours. We can't stop right now. All right. Let's get 9 minutes worth of work done. So I need to figure out how can I change this URL? Opt-in page. Function current path. How can I fix this? Is expecting, okay. Site settings. Where do I go to the site settings? Ugh. Okay, that's clearly not working. No, come on. We can't have this. What is this crap? Why would you put that there? No. What are you doing? I don't want this. Okay, we got to figure this out. Okay. Let's get rid of funnel path master class. Update funnel. Nope. There we go. Okay, let's see if that worked. MorbyMethodMasterclass.com/workshop. Okay. I can dig that. Let's see if we can drive traffic here. And create a new page. Social. No. Real estate. No. Order confirmation, upsell, downsell, all. I want to see a preview. I don't want to just commit to that. The webinar. This kind of looks like something. Yeah, this is what I need. Learning. Education. What should I call this? Free learning? Free learning? No. Learning? More master class or back to that. Training? Yeah, let's do that. Oh, I don't want this. Oh, shoot. I should just delete this. It was already in my funnel. Okay. So, can you play actual videos? Like, what does this look like? So these could be shorts. You test this out. Okay, so let's see, how does this work? Video URL. If I just put a short there, you have errors on the page. Air on button must have a custom URL. I do have a custom URL. Oh, okay, whatever. Oh, I didn't save it. Save anyway. The reason why 9 times out of 10 title companies hate warming methods is. Okay, so that's the play. I need to do shorts. How would you unlock this video? Is it time-based? What if I created a challenge around Morby methods that unlocked free training? I feel like that's a great idea. Coming up with 1 a.m. stroke of genius. Free Morby method challenges. Earn points or something. Unlock free trainings. How can I do that? How can I do that within here? See if I unlocked. How are these videos locked? Okay, so there's got to be like a lock button. What is this? Oh, it's not. Is it not even a video? It's just a image of it being locked? Yeah, it is. Oh, that sucks. So there's no way to. How can I create this logic? There's got to be a way I can do this. Is there a click funnel that can do a free challenge and you have to complete challenge to unlock the next training video? Yes. Membership funnel. Okay, we need to figure out how to do this. This is good. So I got to figure out how to structure that value in a free challenge, but not give away all the secrets, but enough to get people motivated for it. Okay. We're ending on that. All right. Well, that was 3 hours. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in launching your own workshop, hopefully you got value out of just kind of watching me run through my process on how I'm putting together my workshop, my thinking, my whiteboard session, writing down all the value and how we're going to package that up and sell that through a funnel and then provide education and value throughout the next 2 months as I continue marketing for this workshop. So with that, I will call it a night and I'm sure I'll have another session on this, and we'll be providing more. Appreciate that, John, and hope you have a good rest of your night. See you, everyone.